Did you know that Amazon was responsible for over 53% of online sales? Now, did you also know that over 57% of all Amazon sellers make up $75,000 a year in income, and over 23% make over $500,000 a year in income? Now, did you also know that Amazon has over 19 different marketplaces around the world, and you can actually become a seller in all 19 marketplaces without having to live in any of them? Now, you might be wondering, but Bashar, why is that really important to me? Well, come, let me show you. That's important to you to know because the traditional business takes about 2 to 4 years just to plan, requires 5 to 20 employees, needs about $50,000 to $200,000 to get off the ground, will go at least 2 years without a profit, and 80% of traditional startup businesses will fail before hitting the 2-year mark. Now, this is also important for you to know that the average startup Amazon FBA business requires 0 employees. You can start an Amazon business with less than $10,000. You can become profitable within the first year, and you can work from anywhere in the world, not to mention you only need laptop and internet, and your income literally has no limits. Now, this is somebody who's gone through this business and been able to make it work. He turned $6,000 into $2,600 a day in revenue. This is one of our students, Danielle, who literally is now completely crushing it with Amazon just simply because he actually believed the concept and went for it. Now, this is another person, Rick, who was able to turn $10,000 into $3.5 million. And this is simply because he kept on reinvesting back to back into his business, as you can see here. Now, here's another student, Ahmed, sharing his experience inside of our Facebook group. I want to share with you an experience about our FB group. Amar, Reyes, and Hind are always helping problems with Amazon FBA business. They are problem solvers. Meanwhile, when I need any information from Amazon, I'm searching inside the group. Now, if you may be wondering, well, who are Amar and Hind? Well, have been teaching our students inside of our community group to completely crush it. Now, Amar here on one side, he was a BJKU student in 2019. His first year as an Amazon seller, he turned an $8,000 investment into $167,000 of revenue, which is literally over 20x. His goal in life is to help as many people as possible to launch successfully on Amazon. Hind is also a student first, joined in 2020 as a student, and has launched several successful products, and she plans on quitting her job at the end of 2021 to pursue Amazon FBA and helping our BJK University students full-time. Now, as you can see here, we are a very big family that our number one job is literally to make sure that our students get the best result possible. So in basic terms, BJK University is an education company that helps people just like you launch and scale successfully on Amazon. We do this by providing you all the tools and knowledge and the step-by-step guidance to make it happen. Now, you might be asking, but Bashar, that sounds great. How exactly can BJK University help me achieve success on Amazon? Well, come, let me show you. So right around 2018, 2019, about 3 years after I lost it all, I felt like I had actually finally made it. Now, you might be wondering, wait, what? After I lost it all? Yes, I'll tell you all about this in a few slides. But before, maybe you should know what I actually did after I quote-unquote made it with selling on Amazon. So first, I actually bought a Bentley, and then I bought a Ferrari, and then I bought a yacht, and then a private jet, and then wait a second. Nope, that's not me. But it's true. I actually bought a Bentley. And then me and my wife started traveling. This is a picture of us in Cabo. And then we went to Cancun and a few other places. But with all honesty, after traveling to a few places, I just realized that I wasn't the travel kind. I wasn't the kind of person that will spend their life traveling to different places. So although we were traveling and having a good time, deep down something was missing. I was just not fulfilled. Now, around that same time, a couple of relatives and friends had reached out to me wondering what I was doing. I started teaching a couple people. They started getting results. I started teaching a couple more people. They also started getting results. And I started feeling something deep down. It was like I was getting fulfilled finally, until one day this happened. Let me show you. So one day I got this message from Zach Brown, and he simply said this: Bashar, you're the effing man. I've made over $36,000 in just 6 months profit. Zach Brown before this was a FedEx driver driving about 10 to 12 hours every single day, who with my help was able to turn $6,000 into $100,000 per month in revenue. And this is around the same time when I knew that I had something special that a lot of people actually really needed to know about it. Now you have to understand, at this point I had technically made it, right? My debt was clearing out. My life was actually starting to get back on track and things were looking up. However, I just still was unfulfilled. So BJK University is technically a passion product. And our mission is to make a dent in the universe by impacting the lives of 1 million people at a time. And our long-term vision is to disrupt and change the school system and be the world's leading university in creating entrepreneurs who can set their own destinies and choose their own paths without wasting years and tens of thousands of dollars learning methods which they'll never use. Now answer me this. Are you somebody who's just simply sick and tired of doing exactly the same thing over and over and over again and get the same result? Are you somebody who has been trying to change your current situation, and every time you seem to be onto something, it just doesn't work out? Are you somebody who's sick and tired of following the norm and following society and actually want to break out and wants to break through and do something new? If you are somebody who just wants to add more strategy to what you're currently doing and blow up your current income, if that's you, then you're definitely in the right place, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do just that. But how, you might be asking? Well, by avoiding 4 major pitfalls that beginner sellers usually make. So let's go ahead and dig in and let me show you how. So the very first one is chaos to supply chain. You see, the problem is that many people are out there running around telling you they need to go to Walmart, TJ Maxx, Target, and all these retail stores and scan 10,000 products. Then drive 20, 30 hours a week and stuff your car with a bunch of products, build your own website, learn Facebook ads, funnels, squeeze pages, list products on eBay, Etsy, Shopify, start an Instagram page, and all this other nonsense. You see, this is how I started in 2016. I could never scale. The products that I would find were limited because every single store had a certain amount of that specific product. Many of them couldn't even figure out how many units of this other product they had in other stores. I had to spend 20 to 40 hours a week driving around, always looking for new products, again, because I couldn't reorder, I couldn't get more stock once it ran out, and I also had to fulfill every single order. Well, my wife did. Here's the solution. Utilize Amazon FBA, which is Fulfillment by Amazon. It is a program that Amazon has created literally for you to become successful using their platform. It is a concept where you can ship your products directly to their warehouses. They will store for you, they will fulfill the orders for you, and they will also do customer service. And instead of running around to 50 different retailers every single day, instead contact suppliers directly and ship your products directly to Amazon's warehouses. Now, the cool thing is that this concept could be done from literally anywhere in the world. Amazon has over 19 different marketplaces around the world, which we have students selling in most. And the cool thing is that you don't need to live in a marketplace to sell in it. For instance, if you live in Germany and you want to sell in the USA, you can. You can also sell in the UK. You can also sell in Australia. If you live in Spain, you can sell in Spanish marketplace. You can also sell in the British marketplace, in the US marketplace, and Australian marketplace. You do not have to physically live in the country or the marketplace you're trying to sell in. And the other awesome thing is that the algorithm works exactly the same. If you learn this skill on one marketplace, you can apply it for all of the other marketplaces as well. Now here's Clayton. Clayton was a eBay seller before he enrolled in BJK University. He also had his own website and sold on Etsy. He barely sold a few $1,000s per month. Now, with one product as an FBA seller, however, he was able to make more in a single day, as you can see in the screenshot, than many people's monthly incomes. He now has multiple products and plans on launching a few more. Here's also Samuel Newman, who had a product that he'd sell to local stores door to door. His first 25 days as an FBA seller, he made $15,000 with one product, and today he has 5 products and does multiple 5 figures every single month. All right, now let's move on to the second one, which is copying to innovating. Now here's the problem. Everyone starts looking around their house for product ideas. Although many have, huge demand, but also they're very competitive because you're always buying them. You are a consumer of them. Everybody else is probably also a consumer of them. They are expensive to launch, expensive to compete, and everyone is probably thinking to do the same thing. Let's take Tesla, for example. Tesla could have been another car company. However, instead, they looked at how exactly to become different from everybody else. You have companies that have been in business for nearly 100 years now that are literally worth a fraction of what Tesla is worth, and it's only been in business for about 20 years. So when you think behind the dynamic of how that was even possible, it's simply because they found a new niche. So what is the solution, you might be asking? Well, think of the top 10 to 20 products that come to mind, write them down, and promise yourself to never sell them on Amazon. Find niche products by taking ideas from millions of already selling products on Amazon, private label them, which is putting your own brand on them, differentiate them, create a new offering, and add value to more customers. And also do remember, the more you can add value to your customer, the more you can charge, which at the end of the day means more of a profit for you. Now here's Alvin, who with one product has been able to generate over $120,000 in a few short months simply because he took his time to differentiate his product and ensure that his product stands out from the competition. He now wears his BJK University tank top to the gym because he wants to represent the university that impacted his life. 1.5 months after her product launched, Ferreira was able to reach $1,000 a day in sales and generate over $25,000 in revenue in her very first month. That was simply because she was disciplined and she was patient enough to find a great product, but most importantly, differentiate it, stand out from the competition, and truly add value to her customers. Now, the third thing is listing to launching. You see, the problem is that just by creating a listing on Amazon does not mean that you'll generate sales. Amazon throws new seller listings all the way in the back of the searches, but 80% of sales occur among top 10 sellers on page 1. Just think about yourself. When was the last time you went to Google, YouTube, Amazon, and went to page 5 or 10 or 15 to search for a result? Usually, you make your choice and you choose something in the first page. But here's the trick. You cannot rank unless you generate sales. So how will you rank if you can't generate sales, and generate sales if you can't rank? Well, the solution is use the 3-step process to launching any product and ranking it to the top of page 1 within days. Not just that, but it's very important that you also ensure that the launch is done at the right time, because Amazon offers a grace period for new product listings, or what we like to call it, the honeymoon period. And if you miss that window, scaling and ranking your product will literally cost 5 to 7 times more and be a lot harder. You see, in 2019, Mari Milan had listed a product that was in a very competitive niche and didn't do any appropriate product launch. She was barely making about 3 to 5, sales per week, and she had just listed her product and hoped that it would sell. Now, her goal was to scale to 10 units per day, which after launching using our 3-step system, she was able to scale it to not only 10, but 13 units per day within just a couple of weeks. The great thing is that story doesn't end there, because just 2 months later, she was actually able to generate over $100,000 in a single month selling that same product, simply because she launched it correctly and not just listed the product and hoped for sales. Richie enrolled in BJK University seeking help with an existing product. Although he didn't pick it according to our criteria, he was still able to launch it using the 3-step system and generate nearly $1,000 a day only a few days after his launch. Number 4, and this is probably one of the most important ones, it's confusion to one mentor. You see, the problem is that everyone's an expert. You listen to 5 people with probably 5 contradicting methods, or even worse, 5 wrong methods, and nothing works. You see, ever since I was a little boy, I always wanted to start my own business. So at the age of 22, I actually decided that it was going to be a restaurant and bar. So what I started doing was I started watching reality TV shows to learn, from. And each had their own style of running a restaurant and bar, but most importantly, these were reality TV shows, not a course on how to run a successful restaurant. Well, guess what? 6 months into this process, I thought I knew it all. Does that sound familiar? Well, here's the harsh results. After 3 years of running my own restaurant and bar, it actually burned down during service hours at 5 p.m. And the worst thing is that I had no insurance to pay for the damages, simply because I didn't know what I was doing and the restaurant was actually failing. I lost over $500,000, 3 years of my life that I can never get back, and came out of it with $150,000 in debt and a ruined credit. I also had a bunch of lawsuits from food and drink purveyors that I couldn't simply pay. I had a bunch of pissed off employees who couldn't get paid for weeks. And most importantly, my parents were completely disappointed. And for me, this was in 2015, and this is when I hit rock bottom. You see, when I finally realized that I could actually make a full-time income online a couple years after that tragedy, I actually found Amazon FBA, but I decided to do it differently this time. And the way that I was going to do it is that I was going to find a mentor first, because I didn't do that with my restaurant business. I watched John Taffer and Gordon Ramsay doing their own thing on reality TV. So I found a mentor, but most importantly, I stuck to one mentor's advice. And this is when I came across focus, which is follow one course until successful. Not only was I able to turn my life around, but I was also able to marry the love of my life. And most importantly, I retired my parents, who do not seem to be disappointed in me anymore. Here's Yvonne, who was willing to block everything and everyone else and listen to just one mentor. He was able to reach $230,000 in revenue in his very first year as an Amazon FBA seller. And here's another successful student, Hassan, who also was willing to focus on just one person's mentor, and he eventually received the reward. So right now, you basically have 2 options. Option number 1 is going at this alone. Which is more stressful. Obviously, there's no guarantee of results. It is definitely painful, very expensive, and pretty long. And no one can really guarantee what's going to happen on the other side, even should you have gone through the steps. Or we could go at it together with BJK University. And this is going to be a lot more fun, a lot more affordable for sure, much faster, and definitely a lot less mistakes, simply because we've done this and we've helped thousands and thousands and thousands of other students go through the same exact process, and we pretty much have the shortcut. So if you're smart and actually would choose option number 2 and wonder how does it look like on the other side and what does the time frame for everything look like, well, here is what it looks like. So the first step would be helping you get rid of any beliefs that might be holding you back and install new ones which will take you to your max potential. Step number 2, we're going to help you create an Amazon sellers account and get you settled on the platform and show you how that's done step by step. The third thing is one of the most exciting, which is finding your product, find the differentiator, how to add value, and how to make sure that you stand out from the competition. Step number 4 would be going directly to manufacturers, negotiating the best price, and making sure that they can actually manufacture your product exactly how you want it to look like. Step number 5 would be creating your product detail page, creating your images, and beginning to set up your product for launch. And then step 6 would be launching your product, then scale it to its max potential and show you exactly how it's done correctly. So if this sounds like you and you are someone who is simply sick and tired of doing exactly the same thing and you want to do something different, you want to break out, you want to add strategy to what you're currently doing, or simply want to take over your finances, then let's talk. You see, over the next 3 days, my team has set aside some spots on their calendar where they will get on a 45-minute call with you to diagnose your current situation, see if our model works for you, and we will be completely honest about this. If it doesn't work, we will tell you. Map out an action plan to accomplish your goals, and to be honest with you, this will be probably the most valuable 45 minutes you invest in yourself this year. Now, I just want to make sure that we are both on the same page. This is for you if you want to impact your life and your financial situation and take control of your life. This is also for you if you want to add a second income stream. This is also for those who understand that this is a business and will not get rich quick overnight, as this is a marathon and not a sprint. You also understand that this is simple but not easy. You are resourceful and do not take no for an answer, and understand that income potential here is uncapped, but work, commitment, and most importantly, finances are needed to get started. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, if you are somebody who simply wants to go from, working a 9-to-5 to simply predicting your income and taking over your life and finances and be able to scale beyond what is just necessary to get by, then go to bjkuniversity.com/apply or click the link below this video and schedule a time to talk with our team where, they'll be able to diagnose your current situation and figure out if our system is right for you. And look, as I mentioned earlier, this will probably be the most valuable 45 minutes that you invest in your future this year. But it is very important that you understand that we get hundreds of applications daily, and because we just cannot work with everyone, we usually aren't able to speak with more than half, because the better the fit, the better the result. But on the next page, you'll be able to fill out a short survey and find out if you qualify for the free one-on-one call, and then book a time that best suits you. So again, go to bjkuniversity.com/apply, or simply click the link below this video and apply to book a time to chat with our team.